February 17, 2026 at 6:02 PM. If everyone could please stand and face the flag for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Susan, could you please do roll call?
Sure. Reardon, Walsh, LaRose, present. Layton,
Here.
Stasinski,
Here.
Hepmer, Andrews.
Present. Thank you. All right, moving on to the agenda. Please review for any conflict of interest. If there's none, move to approve the agenda. I'll move to approve the agenda as presented for Tuesday, February 17, 2026. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Did you guys have a second?
No? No?
Second.
All right. Motion made by Andrus, supported by LaRose. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, motion passed. All right, moving on to public comment. Is there any public comment at this time? All right. Moving on to correspondences. Just an email from Beth with board and commission vacancies. I didn't see anything else, so.
Yeah, so we have vacancies on the Planning Commission, the Board of Review, and the ZBA right now. They're all online on the, under the government tab, under employment and opportunities.
All right. All right, moving on to reports, treasurer's report. Nathan or Sam, would you be?
Yeah, so I guess we haven't spent a ton of money because it's the beginning of the year. We have a few board fees and then some supplies. I believe those are from things like the sledding party.
Sledding party.
And I think, did you buy the sleds this year or last year? I don't remember.
It looks like they put them under this year's budget. And then some of the lumber that went to building the crate
Box.
went under the
2026.
the maintenance
Okay.
budget, yeah.
Well, if there's no questions on the budget, we can move on to reports 7B, the staff report.
So we've been making some progress scheduling for farmers market program. So far, we've got 7 events scheduled for the Power Produce program. Other programs that we're scheduling, we're working with Metro for a car safety seat check. That'll be the first Thursday of every month. They'll be there for the entire market. Working on getting yoga scheduled and also a blood drive. Holiday Woodlands Natural Area, we're moving forward with that. We're getting easements to get to the planned parking area. We're going to plan on doing trail layout this spring. A lot of the funds won't be able to be, we won't have the funds until next fall, but we are able to do design work. So this summer, we will be able to spend money on design. We'll have an RFP for the parking area, the stairs, and trail signage.
Awesome. Good things happening at Holiday Woodlands. Is that it for your staff report?
That's it. Everything else, yeah, I think is on the agenda.
Business, all right. All right, we can move on to approval of the minutes from January 20th, 2026.
Make a motion to approve the minutes for January 20th 2026 meeting as presented.
Support. All right. Approval of the minutes from January 20th, 2026. Motion made by LaRose, supported by Andrus. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Motion passed. All right, moving on to business before the Parks Commission, 9A, the Michigan Natural Resource Trust Fund grant. You'll see in the packet here. Thought it was. Is that? Yeah, okay. Next page. We're looking for Arbutus Lake Park number 5, moving forward to apply for the grant for the Phase 2 project.
Yeah, so some of the big takeaways with this is you guys were looking to add playground equipment, deal with some of the stormwater runoff, look at expanding the parking area, creating ADA accessibility, and then putting in, more picnic tables and seating.
Yeah. And I guess we have some printouts here too.
Yeah, so Wade Trim has come tonight to talk about some of these. These are just preliminary designs as we're kind of looking at options. I know you guys had concerns with putting the play structure on the, is that the south side of the parking lot? But we were also looking at expanding the parking area, and there was some difficulty with the soils on the north side, and also we were concerned maybe with kids running across the parking lot. So all of this can change, it's just kind of conceptual, so
Yeah.
nice to have things on paper so we can see what our options are.
Yeah, so essentially, we have a plan, and we're looking to move forward with an application. We
Yeah,
don't have
so-
to hammer out every detail tonight, we just
Yep.
looking for,
Yeah, we need the resolution so we can kind of move forward with the application and planning.
okay.
Brian, would you like to give us a overview of the drawing?
Sure, absolutely. So, good evening, thank you for your time tonight. So for the last couple weeks, Beth and our landscape architects, and to me to some degree, have been working on this plan so that we can get it ready for the submission of the MDNR Trust Fund grant. And as Nathan mentioned, this is all preliminary, so even if we go forward with an application just like this, this can all be changed up even after the application. Now, there's some bounds on how much you can change and what you can delete without having to get some permission, but just understand that this is preliminary, so this can still change if you so desire. But as was mentioned, when we were talking about, what needs to be or what the Parks Commission might like to do with the park, one of the things that came up was moving the playground from, which is currently on the north side, moving it to the south side, because that's kind of where everybody kind of gravitates, right? The bathrooms are there, there's some picnic tables and grills there, it's close to the fish platform and the kayak platform. And it will remove kids from playing on the north and then having to run all the way to the south to go to the bathroom or be closer to parents. Although there is a sidewalk there, we know kids don't always use those, they just run the straightest line. So it was just a thought, and what we really wanted to do, if that was to go forward, meaning the playground on the south side, was to keep it natural. We didn't want to take any trees out, we didn't want to create a whole new situation that looked different. So the second page of the documents that you have was just trying to show some ideas of what we thought might look good there, keeping it natural, but fun for kids to play on. A lot of logs, a lot of tree-based stuff. But again, and these can change as well. These were just trying to get an idea, a vision on paper so that people could see what we were thinking. If we did any tree limbing, or tree work, it'd be limbing so that kids couldn't jump from, a play structure into a tree limb or something like that. But we wouldn't be looking to remove any trees. So that's really kind of the crux of the south end. The north, we looked at adding parking, because that is a highly utilized park. It's a beautiful park, and it should be highly utilized, and it is very much so. But we thought about adding some parking. Now, it's a small park, right? How much parking do we really want to provide and just kind of exacerbate the situation? But I do understand that people still, once this is full, what you have now is full, they park out on the road, right? But understand that if you provide more parking within the site, people still it may fill up and people still park out on the road. So that's kind of some of the discussion we had with regards to adding the parking. Given the space, there's five additional parking slots that we show there. We kind of had to configure it around the new well that serves your bathroom building. So we couldn't expand it more to the east, plus there's the big hill and the retaining wall there. So that's kind of what we thought would fit, and fit well with the parking, and in doing so, we wanted to also capture the runoff that might come from that additional parking space and maybe handle some of the more water coming off of the road, so.
Where is the location of the well?
The well is, let me show you, it's right there. You can see the black line with the W's in it. If you follow it to the right, it ends at the well. There's a W and an E right there, that stands for well. And we show rocks, putting landscape rocks around big boulders so that people don't hit it. So what it does is it gives additional parking in the summertime, but in the wintertime, it also gives a place to easily plow snow to, without tearing up the grass on that side. So, and then other amenities such as the swing bench and some additional parking or park benches. Think of the word. You sitting, yeah.
Picnic tables, seating area,
Yeah.
electronic chairs.
Picnic table,
sounds like-
picnic table, that's what I was trying to think of, thank you. So anyways, yeah, again, preliminary, this can change, but we needed to get something on paper so we can start this discussion, maybe use it for an application, that kind of thing.
I think if I would just add, when we talked that rain garden, another reason to look at the play equipment on the other side was if we use that rain garden to really enhance that drainage area there, it keeps the kids out of trampoline and through there too.
So I'll just jump right on in to the lake. It's a bummer that the well is there, because my first instinct was, hey, why not take those extra parking spots and put them on that east side, like where you have, now that you told me that's a well, but have these more along this end here and open that up to maybe this area could have a little bit of that, what is it called? Not perforated, but kind of bricks or blocks that permeate.
Permeable pavers.
There you go. And put that in that area, and that keep all those, as many cars off of the waterway and more towards in here. We might not be able to have the 5 spots, but then that would free up to have that runoff area and a little bit easier. That part, more expansion on that water side parking sort of concerns me.
Yeah.
So I thought that as an option, maybe. I know you'd have to work around the well, and we'd have to put a protective thing over the well so people aren't parking over that.
Yeah, and that's one of the things, great question and comment, that's one of the things.
Because I
that we
see in
talked
one of
about.
your photos, it looks like there is a car that's sort of parked back in that area.
Yeah, it's in the back corner of the existing parking lot, it'd be the northeast corner.
Yeah, and it could be
They're right there.
curved, to put the,
Yeah, so one of the things, the reason that's more of a, is that reddish color or maybe a we were talking about making that new parking area permeable pavers. There's a cost that goes with it, but that was one of the things that we talked about to help with stormwater infiltration.
But we talked about how the sand clogs them, and that's where we're gonna dump the plow piles.
Right, so yes, so that you're right. So they do have a component of maintenance that goes with them, because they will clog over time. If we're not sanding this parking lot where we're paving, then that's good, if we're plowing all the snow there, but certainly the more snow we take there, the more water we direct there, the more opportunity there is for that to plug up over time and have to be back.
So do we plow that all winter long then, that park?
I'm sorry, say that again?
Yeah.
We plow that,
And- Yeah, and it gets pretty full. Actually, right now, if you go down there, you'll see the snow, we push the snow all the way back as far as we can, kind of by the play set in the swings. And if you go down there and you'll see, that snow is already just about to the parking lot.
I can understand that there's a lot of snow. I was just thinking, maybe not have that so you can winter there, as a park to help save that runoff and that plowing. And then we could have had more permeable surfaces, which would be great along that, waterway there. That's just another thought, too. I sure would like to see if we can move maybe some of those parking, all 5 of those, somewhere more on the curve and where the picnic tables are. That's kind of like a dark tree-ish corner that, and then open that area up, maybe more on the shoreline. You're gonna already have that existing wetlands there. And I do like intermixing the play structures, although, yes, you guys can come up with some better ones. I gave you all my catalogs, but there was at one of the conventions we went to at the resort, there was one that was all natural, and it all looked very natural. It was very nice, and those catalogs should be in there. But I do like that idea. I do like keeping most of that traffic, on that side. And besides, most of the families are eating too, so it sort of makes sense to have it intermixed in that area. So I'm okay with that end of it. I just, as a suggestion, maybe see about the thought, I'm not an engineer, but moving the extra parkway against the roadside and not the lakeside.
Sure.
Because it's such a beautiful park, and then when cars are there, you can't really see it. It just, anyways.
Do the plans on the north, south side still allow to complete our ADA pathway?
Yes, I would say absolutely. Now, we're showing some pathways through there. We would make sure those are all ADA. So the area, and this is a very busy picture, so like yesterday when they were finalizing this, I was telling Beth earlier, I'm like, guys, can you make it less busy? I mean, there's circles and lines everywhere, but, so just to kind of point it out, the kind of brown or salmon colored lines through there, those are walkways that we're showing, and those will make sure those are ADA.
Because we wanted to do ADA from the fishing pier to the toilets.
Yes, yep, and we have that now.
You gotta come up the sidewalk, right. But the whole point was, so you have to go all the way to the pier and then come all the way back to the parking lot, to go all the way to the bathroom, to come all the way back to, and we wanted to connect in the future over the footpath around to the other side of the,
Gotcha. Yeah, so right now, this plan, we didn't address anything with that footpath from the fishing platform across the creek mouth on over. So that has not
That
been.
would be an easy fix.
But that-
'Cause
that's
right
something
now-
we could incorporate.
it's already treacherous to get from the fishing pier to the footpath. There's a bit of a drop.
There's a drop. I mean, it would take some thought and some grading to make it work. We'd have to take a close
Right,
look
the
at it.
grading.
The
Yeah.
other thing is too, that path is EWF, the
Engineered wood fiber.
which is ADA, but that's, that's exactly what we have under the stuff at Grace.
Yeah, that's nice.
So, that might be difficult around with the creek there, because you don't want.
Right.
And then the other thing is, remember the budget of this project, where it's low, and this is probably more than that, so we'll have to scale back. 'Cause we were looking at putting in 75 for the grant, and the 75 match. And it goes up quick, as you guys know.
Yeah, you can spend that much in playground equipment if you really want.
Well, we can axe the 5 parking lots that I thought were impossible to put there in the first place. So now all of a sudden, where did you come up with 5 more parking spots? Because round 1, that's it, we can't do any more.
Because the plane was gonna be there.
It was simply because of the play
Right,
structure.
yeah.
Well, the other thing is too, we couldn't have just expanded that parking lot as it is with the asphalt because of the ratios, because you took over.
Yeah, so in order to try and meet your stormwater ordinance, if we increase the impervious area of the site by more than a certain percentage, now we fall into a whole different set of requirements for stormwater retention and handling and all that. But when you do a permeable system like this, it's not considered an impermeable surface, so that would keep us from having to do, a bunch of extra, I don't want to say extra, but additional, or taking additional considerations for stormwater runoff. One thing I was going to mention real quick about the location of the well, and you brought that up. One of the reasons, actually, the reason it's there was a very small area we could actually put it, because we got to be a certain distance from the lake shore, a certain distance from the creek, and a certain distance from the restroom. And when you do the setbacks for all those based on the county requirements, there was about a 30-foot area there we could put a well. So,
You can, the pavers are expensive, and so you can choose not to do that right now and just leave that a grassy area. We can, up from the rain garden, we could leave that a grassy area, throw a picnic bench in there or two, and just kind of natural, and that would take the cost down, and, you can choose to do pervious pavers later.
Yeah, well, I think this is a great conceptual drawing here that we can use to apply for the grant, and all these details can be changed at a later date. There's no more discussion at this time. I'll move to approve the resolution for PKS 2026-01. Michigan National Resource Trust Fund 2026 application.
So when will we bring this back up again before we approve this resolution?
I think
we can-
So many changes.
We can put it on the agenda for March.
Remember, it's a really long grant process.
Yeah.
so
Yeah, we're-
it's April, April, December.
We don't get the funds for another
We can't even.
10
start-
months after that.
We can start with some initial light engineering, but we don't do too much until, it'd probably be a year from now, really.
right.
I guess I'm going to just go back to my only concern is I'd like to move those 5 spots and move them more alongside this area here. That frees up that whole area. And then we could talk later up the road with the permeable surfaces or something, because that will, even if you back that off 5 feet and do a permeable surface there, that's going to be even good for water retention coming down that hill. And originally, I at least wanted that 5 feet all the way across that parking lot. But anyways, so that's my 2 cents worth on that. And I sort of did a measurement. We almost could, I think about 4. We might lose one, but other than that, I like the intermixing all over on the south side. So sorry for interrupting.
No, it's fine. Yeah, all these details we can, if we get the grant and we decide to move forward with the project, we can get a good plan in place with the money that we have to spend for this park. Yeah, so made a motion. Looks like we had to do roll call vote.
Do we have a second?
Oh, yeah.
Second.
All right. Motion made by Andres, supported by Studzinski to move forward with the resolution PKS 2026-01. And then Susan, can you please do a roll call vote?
Straczynski?
Yes?
LaRose, yes. Layton?
Yes.
Andres?
Yes.
And Walsh? Do I just do those? No,
Just
okay.
absent.
Okay.
All right, thank you. And, we're just gonna have to sign this after. All right, Moving on to business before the Parks Commission, 9B, Grace McDonald Park Improvement bids. You also see from Wade Trim, we have kind of the bids that came in. It looks like AJ's was the lowest bid down here, and we have a possible motion to move this forward to the Board of Trustees. Lost all my papers.
Do you guys have any questions on the bids? We
I
received,
actually just got it. I'm so
Yeah.
sorry. I should have come a little earlier.
we received 3 bids, had our bid opening. Wade Trim looked through them all, provided their recommendation on award letter. They didn't see any reason not to go with the lowest bid. So we can kind of talk through the base bid and the 3 alternates that we have. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Brian.
Yeah, thank you. So we were happy to get 3 bids on a project like this. You never know what you're going to get. You can get 1, none, or 10, and anything in between. So 3 bids were good, and they were fairly tight bids, meaning they were all somewhat close, especially the Pop and Walton. Base bid was about $1,000 between the 2 difference. So very close bids. So the way this was bid out is there's a base bid, okay, which is the $111,000. That's for doing work plus the 2 cornhole courts, okay, and some irrigation and a lot of other things as well. But alternate 1 was added in, or at least we got pricing for that, and that's to add 4 more cornhole courts to the project and irrigate that area as well. So that's alternate 1. If we want to add that to the project, we've got a price for that. Alternate 2 then is to, and we can take 1 or none of these. We don't have to do them in order if you want to do any of them. Alternate 2 is the seating area with the fire pit and running gas to the fire pit and doing brick pavers around the walkway around the fire pit, things of that nature. And then alternate 3 was saying, instead of doing brick pavers around that fire pit, if you want to do the fire pit, instead of doing brick pavers, what's the cost deduct if we just poured standard gray concrete? And that was for the low bidder, that was a deduct of about $11,000 if we go concrete instead of brick pavers. So,
Are those brick pavers like seating around that or just a decorative?
or decorative ground, like
Okay.
ground cover for
Very-
paving, yeah.
It reduced the cost $1,000?
11.
No, if we do not do instead of doing the pavers, we do concrete, it
Yeah.
reduced the cost by $11,000.
Thank you.
10,920 to be
Got it.
exact. I can tell you that as every time we have talked about this with the landscape architects, because they really did most of the design and the bidding preparation, they said it would sure look a lot nicer if you had brick pavers there instead of concrete. So I told them, I said, look, I'll bring it up if I get a chance, but it's really up to the board on what you want to do
And
there.
actually, for water retention, that brick is going to be way better than doing concrete with the running of the water.
Yeah, they will let some water in, but they'll be pretty tight joints. I mean, but some will get
Still
through.
let
Yep,
some
it helps.
in.
Yep,
Yep.
absolutely. So talking round numbers, we saw the base bid, if that's all you wanted to do were the 2 cornhole courts and the irrigation, some of the other things, that was about $111,723.25. If you wanted to add in alternate 1, that was an additional $58,919.10.
Additional or?
Additional,
Okay,
yep.
but not on top of the
On
lowest
top
bidder
of
of
the 111.
100, it wasn't on top of that, okay.
Yep. And then if you wanted to add in alternate 2 on top of that base bid, then that's an additional $83,216.
Is that our warming hut
Fire.
alternative?
So, yeah, so this is the side of the pavilion that will be the base, like the area that you would walk on. It will be the covered heating area, right, there's a grate over it so that it's safe with a timer on it. And it includes like the seating area around it that goes in like an arch around it. It also includes bringing the gas line over to that heating area. What it does not include that we have to add on to this will be the sides, the roll-up sides, and the heating, hanging heating elements in the pavilion. So anything that would be within the pavilion studs or timbers, we would be doing, we didn't put that as part of the project, we'll just be handling that through the township, dealing directly with the vendor. So there's a little bit more to put on here, so I think, is this total, was it 240?
If we go with the patio bricks, we're at 253.
We're on alternate 2 still?
Yeah, so alternate 3 is really, that's just that deduct that we're doing concrete. So if we wanted to pay the extra money to go with the patio pavers, we're at 253,858. We've got budgeted 225,000 for the project. And then I believe we do have a 2% grant that's additional to this for the warming hut.
Yes, we received that, and we were putting that towards.
Okay, so that's in the.
Towards the 253?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, exactly.
Okay.
So if you look at all in from the stuff that we would do from the township too, we're looking at roughly, and this is rough numbers because we don't have the canvas bids yet, about 300 total. And you have a budget of 225, so you can choose to, add, subtract, and do into 225. You can also choose to seek additional funding for it. If you recall, the township board wanted to know, they did not want some of your capital projects in there because we didn't have solid numbers, remember? And so they wanted to see good numbers. So you went in with 225 based on estimates. And so you're about, 240 with the bids, and then the additional amount for about 300. So the rationale, if you wanted some would be, hey, you have the estimates, now you have the hard numbers, here's where you're at. I took a look at our 2025, where we're at for 2025 township-wide for the general fund budget. And right now, and this will change because we don't have some revenues in and we're still putting in expenditures for 2025. But right now, the township is looking at having revenues over expenditures of about $445,000. But there's some specific reasons for that, but in the end, that's what we're probably looking at adding to the fund balance, about $400,000. So, Zach had asked me, well, if we wanted to do the full project, where would we get the other
75 or so.
Yeah, and I said, well, you could choose to titrate the project back and stay within the 225. You could you could seek recommendation for the project and, ask for the 250 exactly, but then we wouldn't be doing the side things and some of the heaters. Or you could ask for the 300 and seek to do the project.
I like the latter. I
It's
mean,
your
we waited long enough,
decision.
and why not? I mean, we've waited long enough, and it's been, I can tell, a lot of work done into getting those estimates. It's, and if we have to back off and not get the walls for the pavilion and the inside heaters, then so be it. I'd rather not go that route. I'd rather just go and get that project done, and let's move on to the next project if the funds are available to do that. So
Yeah.
that's my recommendation, is ask for the 300.
Yeah. So that would include, 6 cornhole
Yeah,
sets?
that'd be
That
nice.
would include the fire pit with the
Brick.
pavers.
Yeah,
And-
I think there was a lot of motivation for having those 6 cornhole pits
Yeah.
because people do tournaments out there.
Yeah, and it just would complete that area.
Right?
Yeah, but the motivation for the fire pit exceeds the cornhole.
Yeah.
Did I
so
say that
they're
right?
both- Yeah. So, I was looking at this and I was like, well, if you wanted to cut the budget, where do you cut? Because one alternative's the additional cornhole, the other one is the fire pit, and they both seem pretty important.
Because we want to make space for people to bring their own cornholes, but we would rather have the fire pit. Or maybe I'm wrong.
Well, again, I just go back to, let's go for the 300 and see how that lands. And then if not, I guess some subtraction of either the cornhole.
Because it was embarrassing to be at the sledding party, because how many years ago did we have all those blueprints up? Look what we're building. And nothing has happened, nothing.
Yeah.
We've done nothing for winter. I mean, basically.
And we had a great turnout, and if we had that fire pit, I mean, more people, I think, would have come, and I don't know how big that fire pit is, but I hope that bit of 300 is a large enough one that people can get around other than a 6-foot.
Yeah, I would think so, but I haven't paid attention to the size of that, so I can't answer it.
We have blueprints for that, right?
Yes.
Probably somewhere
Yeah.
in this bag.
Sam, don't we have some,
We had a building.
picture shots of what the grate looks like over it, just some general ideas?
Yeah, for myself personally, I'm fighting for that fire pit.
Yeah, I think that's a easy recommendation to move forward with the the base plus alternate 1 and 2, and then ask for a recommendation to amend the budget for 2026 and ask for another 75,000 to get us to that 300, which allow us to get the extras, the heaters and the sides for the pavilion.
This was a fall 2026 construction. So
Oh.
this would be fall, which isn't the worst thing, because we could use that time in the summer to, make sure the fascia board on the pavilion is good and clean the concrete there and do that sort of thing.
Paint it, whatever you're gonna do with that.
The removal of the trees and stumps, is that along the basketball? Does that include?
No, that's.
No.
That was- okay, that
That's
was-
where the paths
Yeah,
to the pavilion is, right?
I think so too.
What we'd asked for was the part about the basketball court and the dog park. We asked for budget numbers for the next
for that,
year.
okay.
And we only had one provide budget numbers. We didn't make it mandatory that they submit budget numbers. We were just trying to get an idea.
Okay.
You guys.
I just wanted
That's a
to,
lot of work.
yeah, I just wanted to make sure wasn't missing that, so. But Well-
What else do we need?
We
to
just,
move forward?
we need to make a motion for a recommendation to the Board of Trustees.
Yeah, so what we'd be looking for is a recommendation on who to award the project to, probably AJ's, and what you want to include in their contract. So do you want base bid, of course, but then do you want alternate 1, 2, and 3, or one or the other, or some mix and match?
Yeah, so I think,
And I think, sorry to interrupt, I think it would be good to have that total, so when you say we recommend award to AJ's Excavating for the base bid of, and then alternate 1 of total, and alternate 2 of total, for a contract total of X amount, I think that would be good to have all of that in
What was alternate 2 price?
there. Alternate 2 price is
$83,000.
$58,919.10. I'm sorry, you said alternate 2?
I
Yeah.
did.
I'm sorry, alternate 2, I gave you alternate 1. Alternate 2 is $83,216 even. $83,216 even.
Okay.
Brian, do you remember our contract with you on this? Did it take us for bid or for construction?
I don't remember, Beth.
I don't remember either. We'll have to look that up. We'll look it up just to make sure that,
That money's in there.
well, yeah, we'll we'll let you know.
Okay.
I thought it was construction management.
Was it through construction?
Don't quote me.
Well, I added up the base bid, alternate one for the 4 additional cornhole boards, and alternate 2 for the concrete paver fire pit area. I'm looking at $253,858.35.
Yep, that's what I got too.
And I guess, is everyone good
Could you
with?
say that number again, please?
Yeah, 253,858.35.
And that's with the pavers?
Yes.
Okay.
Alternate 3 would just be the removal of the pavers and
Can we
doing,
say like up to 300?
well,
So we cover anything, go ahead.
I was just going to add, so one thing that happens from time to time is when boards make a motion and an award like this, they may add a contingency to it as well, so that every little change, if there is one, it all has to be approved by the town, us and the township, but it doesn't actually have to come back to the board. It would go to Beth, and Beth would have the discretion to say yay or nay, because the additional 10% is typical. I just wanted to bring that up, so
Yeah.
if you want to include that in your motion of a 10% contingency,
Can we do
Again.
15%?
you can do whatever percentage you want. But, yeah, so,
So we have a little bit of a grant, but then we're asking the township board for
yeah,
this.
recommending a budget amendment of 75,000 to help with the extra costs for the heaters, the side panel coverings, a few other things to tidy up that pavilion.
Alternate number 3, I agree that pavers would look nicer, but it's currently a concrete slab at the pavilion.
This would be the-
So we're gonna bring these nice pavers up to this centuries-old concrete pavilion floor.
The concrete's still pretty good under the,
I'd just be like, oh, this is so nice, until we're here.
well, and I think that, again, that the water retention going through the pavers is a little bit better than the concrete. Remember, we're going to be adding concrete for sidewalks all over the place there. So we're going to have plenty of concrete. Make a motion.
Yeah.
Make a motion.
Well, I guess I'd like to make a motion to recommend to the Board of Trustees, Wade Trim's recommendation as described, presented, and discussed to include the base project of $111,723.25, to include the alternate one with the additional 4 cornhole boards, which is a price of $58,919.10, plus alternate 2 seating area with the fire pit with the brick pavers for a total of $83,216, with a 10% contingency for extra costs that may occur during the project. And I'd also recommend an additional, or budget amendment for 2026 with an additional $75,000 to help cover the heaters and side coverings for the pavilion. I think that covered everything.
What was the total?
Oh, yes, and to move forward with AJ's excavating coming in at the lowest bid. And those are the prices that I listed off were from AJ's. And, yeah, I guess the total price for that would be the $253,858.35. Sorry, that was a lot,
Second.
yeah.
Support.
All right. Motion made by Endres, supported by LaRose to move forward with the recommendation to the Board of Trustees, Wade Trim's recommendation as described, presented and discussed, with selecting AJ's Excavating with the base bid, alternate 1, alternate 2, coming to a total of $253,858.35 with a 10% contingency, with an additional ask to amend the 2026 budget and add another $75,000 to help cover the expenses for the heater and side coverings for the pavilion. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right.
I know we're not
Motion passed.
spending money, but should we do a vote? No? Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Guys.
Yeah, have a good night. All right, business before the Parks Commission, 9C, the Food Security Advisory Committee recommendations. And in your packet here, you'll see a lot of details on the upcoming food security. Yeah. Farmers market stuff. Sam, you wanna, I'm assuming you're still the point person on.
Well, actually, as of yesterday, Nathan actually completed his market manager certification, so.
Awesome.
That was pretty exciting. So he'll.
Nathan,
So,
Certified.
that's really exciting that we have that capacity here in the township. And then, on their meeting on January 29th, they talked about a few things. They talked about a 2026 action plan, which you'll see in here. That just kind of was, some ideas for how to market the market better, different opportunities, kind of like you heard from his staff report about implementing, car safety checks and some of those other, yoga on the market, different things that can create a sense of place there. And then we made a few changes to the Power of Produce program, mainly just the list of activities this year. We want to make sure that we have like a new set of activities each year to keep it interesting, at least in like 4 to 5 year cycles as kids age through the program. And then we also added a cancellation policy and then opened it up to non-East Bay Township residents. Not everybody that attends our schools over here is an East Bay Township resident. Similar to the market rules, like they would receive priority if it was like one or the other, but we wanted to make sure we allowed, a lot of variety of people to participate in that program. The farmer's market, similarly, we changed the fee structure to be a little bit different, just to consolidate it a little bit and encourage people to hopefully pay for the whole season and then be encouraged to attend the whole season. But we did still want to allow the opportunity for people to pay per month because things like strawberries or certain things, people may not produce those all season and may only be able to attend a few markets like at the beginning of the season. Or, well, Holman's is a bad example because they're here all season, but like something like pumpkins or, some of those types of crops. And then there was the market manager contract with seeds. So that did increase a little bit this year just based on, we extended the season to go actually through the end of October based on the feedback from the market vendors last year saying, hey, we still want to be here. So, and so that's reflected in there as well.
So how does that work? So Nate would be the manager of the market, right?
Nate is more of our staff person internally that helps manage the market from a high-level perspective. So working with our communications person, coordinating with the market manager, like, head operations,
And Seeds is the market manager or the assistant market manager or both?
They really just manage the day-to-day operations of the actual market. So they send a staff person out here to sit out there for the, 6 hours and to set up and do all of that. Because that takes up quite a bit of time to do that. When I was doing it, it's my it's my whole Thursday, so I'm not able to write grants and do the things that we do in the office. So that's kind of how that works. Yeah, Seeds will be kind of running the day-to-day communications with the vendors as well this year. Well, I guess you guys have to decide that.
And
'cause you're-
they're doing like the POP, right?
We utilize that through volunteers, and then we also have been working with other local partners. So Nathan's been connecting with the local health department. I don't know who, I was trying to keep up with how many people you've talked to.
Yeah, quite a few. The health department, today I was meeting with the library, the health department at the state and the county level. Crosshatch, I mean, there's a whole handful of, I think we got 13 weeks of the Power Produce program. And then the ones that we can't fill, you know, the staff will do. You know, I'll end up doing a handful of them.
I guess I'm kind of just questioning, now, what does Seeds do?
They run our food assistance program. They make sure all the market vendors know where their spots are.
Okay.
They send out the weekly email to the vendors allocating their spots. They also promote our market on their social media as well as through their communication networks. And actually, their contract is in here, so
Yeah.
there's.
I read
there's a
that,
whole-
and they have like that POP or every day or every week what is going to be done or something, so that's why I was just questioning.
Oh, that's-
That was a separate.
I think those are our guidelines for the Power Produce program, are the ones that have like the list of the weekly activities. That's us. The Seeds contract starts after the Seeds logo.
Right.
And then goes into.
Yeah, I read that whole thing.
Yeah, it goes into talking about kind of what they do leading up to the market as far as like promotion and vendor recruitment, and then what kind of goes into running the market. They spend about 6.5 hours each Thursday at a market, and then do administrative things variously throughout the week as needed.
Enforce rules, yeah, on collecting fees and deposits, that's a big one. The food assistance programs, you know, working with the vendors.
And they did support some of the Power Produce last year with their SNAP Ed program. Unfortunately, that has sunsetted with the funding changes at the federal level, so we're working on how to facilitate, like, the Power Produce is already a great opportunity for public education on food security,
Yeah,
but
I thought it was really kind of cute what things that they were putting in there for the weekly. It's nice, it's kind of a good idea, but.
What did we pay them last year? Is it roughly about the same?
yeah, I think all it did was it bumped it up from each, like, so I think it's 4 more markets, so
Oh, okay.
260 times 4, about $800 or $900.
Okay.
And how do you choose, or what is the process of the vendors, where they go? Do they stay in that same spot each week, or how does that go? How do you choose which vendor gets what location? Is that by the bronze and all of that? That isn't, because that's just based on size.
There's no priority to the bronze or silver, other than they just get more than one spot if they go up. Realistically, that's a complex answer. It's all contingent on market mix, who's there that part-time in the season. You know, you don't want to put 2 vendors that have similar products next to each other unless it's fresh produce, because then those kind of go in like a fresh produce section, you know, like having 2 bread vendors next to each other are going to be challenged, so you want to make sure those, you know, so it's kind of like a ever-changing dynamic that you look at weekly, and you're like,
Oh, you
okay,
do.
these are the people that are going to be here, this is the time of the season it is. So there's not a good system.
So they don't have every week they'll be here, right?
We
This
try to do
location.
that.
Oh, do you? Okay.
But we never promise that, because things change, and we may get a new vendor in that we need to shift some stuff around, you know. Typically, like, we try to keep the pierogies over near the front, because they're kind of a hybrid of, they're a market vendor that has their pierogies, but they also serve hot food, and like our food trucks are typically over on this side, so like some of that stuff that happens as
Okay.
well.
I'm just curious.
Well, I'm good to move forward with the motion to approve the 2026 East Bay Food Security Advisory Committee recommendation as described, presented, and discussed. All in favor? Or,
Aye.
I need a support.
Second.
Oh, sorry, I thought you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Motion made by Andres, supported by Tazinski to move forward with the 2026 East Bay Food Security Advisory Committee recommendations as described, presented, and discussed. All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right, motion passed. Sorry, I messed up once and I did it for everyone.
I didn't catch it the third time.
Yeah, I did.
I would like to make a comment about our sledding, and I think we had double the amount of people this year over last year, and we need to investigate maybe getting a rope tow. For the left side of the hill.
But the whole point was that it was exercise.
It's exercise, yeah.
That's why I went.
Says the people that didn't go down as many times as you.
The only thing
Yeah.
I think would be nice if we could do it is I would have liked to see a food truck out there. I think that would be
Yeah.
great.
Yeah.
Because we have the ice cream truck when we do the summer one, and if, there's like a hot dog, the pizza guy, I don't know if they, some of them work other events in the winters.
Or even, yeah, like a
I mean,
slice of pizza or something,
Honestly,
I don't know.
across the street, they could come and set up their tent. They're approved
Pierogies.
to do.
Yeah.
They're approved to do hot food out
Yeah.
in public.
yeah, I just thought that was like.
That might draw more people.
Yeah,
It's something you guys wanted to consider for next year. We
Yeah.
can try, I mean, we're already trying to source
Not
food
necess-
trucks for the farmer's market.
Yeah,
So
I
maybe through this summer, we can maybe
Yeah.
get someone that's.
yeah,
and then
so
let them
you
know
know
about it.
how in the summer for the ice cream truck, I mean, we pay a percentage,
Yeah.
like, I don't think I'd necessarily be on board with that for
No.
the winter.
I think what you could do is you could just approve them for that event to be
Yeah.
there for the day. So
Yeah.
then it makes it worth it for them. They're there all day. They're not
Yeah.
just there from 1 to 3. They're
Yeah.
there in
They're
the
there
park a
all
little bit
day.
longer.
Yeah,
and then-
or maybe
just for
approve
that event.
a certain fee for them to,
That's
at
maybe
least
a-
it makes it worth their while.
'Cause
That might be a larger discussion about vending in our parks.
Oh,
But
yeah.
if you charge them a fee,
Oh.
like with, like with the ice cream, you're bringing them there for a specific event and you guys approve them to only be like,
Yeah,
but you don't approve them to like drive through the parking lot every day,
right.
Yeah.
vending.
I'd probably do that anyway.
I mean, they might.
I know I talked to a handful of people there, and they were surprised that there was a sledding party. Like, they obviously didn't check social medias or didn't see it in the newsletter or whatever, but it just was a beautiful winter day, so you were seeing a lot of
Yeah, I
extras.
think it was a good mix of people that knew about it and people that just
Yeah.
happened to be there.
A couple of our Power of Produce kids were there at a birthday party, having a birthday there before us when we got there.
Oh.
I walked up and I saw one of the moms, I'm like, oh, hey, and I was like, which bundle of clothes is yours? Because I
Yeah.
can't tell. They're-
So
all I
many
can
of
see is
them.
so
Yeah.
much of their face.
Yeah.
Well, I will not forget the rope tow. Bring that up at another meeting.
Yeah.
We have electricity. For all those older ones that didn't want to walk up that hill.
What's the,
Hey, I didn't want
I
to,
was gonna
but
say, you don't even want to have that discussion.
And
the
I
what,
was-
insurance?
insurance?
We'd have to have somebody watch it.
Yeah, and staffing it, yeah. You want him out there every weekend? Come
Well,
on.
he is very busy already. I don't think we can, that would not be a good use of his time.
He's just twiddling his thumbs.
Yeah, well, I'd like to thank you
He's gotta go
guys.
fix that handicap door so I can get in.
Well, I'd like to thank you guys for all your help with the sledding party. I did think it was a great turnout, so,
It was-
It was fun.
I don't think I really did anything.
That was a
Well,
pretty
pretty
low
much-
impact.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
well,
easy peasy.
you were there, you were talking.
Yeah, I showed
So-
up. He did everything.
Yeah.
It was great.
Yeah, so, well, thank you guys again, and, yeah, moving on to our upcoming meeting dates. Our next regular Parks Commission meeting is March 16th, 2026 at 6 PM. And then if there's nothing else, I'd like to move forward to adjourn the meeting at 7:02 PM.
Support.
All right, meeting